7:23, coming out towards 7:24 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, the ripple effects of the budget presentation will continue for quite some time, but is it pushing the film industry in the right direction? Can we actually call it an industry? Is it an industry or a cottage industry in Trinidad and Tobago? Well, I'll get some perspectives from our next two guests. Lesley and Caton is the general manager of Film TT, and Lorraine O'Connor, local facilitator of Amazing Race, and involved in the production and the production work with that particular exercise. They are joining us via Zoom to give us their perspectives on the future of the film industry in Trinidad and Tobago following the budget presentation, and also what is to become of all the work that would have been done and all the preparation that would have been done for Carnival film projects. Well, good morning to the two ladies. If I could start with Ms. Caton, first of all, good morning to you. Is the future bright for the film industry?
Good morning, Fizir. The future is extremely bright for the film industry. We're not a cottage industry. We're young, but we're ever growing, ever developing. And of course, due to COVID, we had to pivot a bit, but it has shown us so much more in terms of what we can offer, especially in terms of film-induced tourism and having additional productions coming to Trinidad and Tobago, especially after the Amazing Race.
And we hear about the Amazing Race, Now I understand the importance of it, but is that really how we measure the success of our film industry, that people outside see we? Is it that what is important is what we create within to show to the rest of the world?
It's both, actually, because at Film TT, we facilitate international productions and local productions. So, for instance, over the years, we've had over 83 feature film productions filmed in Trinidad and Tobago, 78 of which were from Trinidad and Tobago itself. So we do promote the local film industry. We want to encourage the private sector to support the filmmakers, and that's the only how we can really build and grow and develop to showcase or export our content. So it's a trifold.
Lorraine O'Connor, just give me your perspective, because you wear many different hats. You know, you represent entertainers as well. You're involved in the film industry. You were involved with the Amazing Race component that gained widespread attention. What is your own perspective on the film industry in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I totally agree with Lesley, and I think the future is bright. Actually, in this virtual world, we are going to be more in demand. If we're producing Carnival online, well, we have to film a lot of content, so basically I think we have to find ways also this is a time where we've learned to be more flexible and to renew ourselves. And, I don't feel like, oh my God, I felt so a couple months ago, I would admit, like, where are we going from here? But now I see there's ways forwards. And, once we work, I think we also have to be more cohesive as an industry and come more together. And this is what the work of actually Film TT. I'm also on the board of Film TT, and I think Lesley is really driving that to that stakeholder engagement to get more people to really, a lot is going on. Actually, we are so surprised that every weekend you might have like 10 productions going on in Trinidad and Tobago that you don't know about, but everybody's doing stuff, artists are still recording music videos, things are still going on. So I really think the future is bright, but the future is hard work. Like, we need to work to get there.
And Ms. Collins, you made a point that, a lot of work going on that we don't know about. Why is it that we don't know about it? Is it because of our attitude of always only looking to consume things from outside? Is it that mainstream media ain't interested because they don't want to spend the money to support local production? Is it that corporate Trinidad and Tobago are still stuck in that mentality of only accepting things that they see as value as being from outside? Why is it that we don't know about a lot of these productions?
All of the above. That one that you check at the bottom and they say all of the above. All that you said are the reasons why. And also, people are suspicious because there's kind of this feeling like, oh, I don't want people to know what I'm doing because they go thief my idea and things like that. That's a reality. So we have to be more all embracing and more work together. And really, I see that if we want to make Carnival 21 a success in terms of that virtual production, we have to come together as an industry and show, and like some of the leaders, the top producers, we have excellent producers here. We have excellent camera people. We can really put together a package that would be internationally acceptable on all platforms and that could really market Trinidad and Tobago and the carnival and take it, I have a carnival to banker. I mean, I wouldn't lie. I've been saying it for weeks. Like, I can't deal yet with the fact that we don't have carnival, but I am working very hard and I want us to work very hard to really present to the world something fantastic so that when we come back in 22, it's like, wow, yeah, that's where everybody wants to be here. But we have to be ready to receive people because we don't even have enough room. So, that's a whole global, more bigger conversation, but that's the mission.
Indeed. Well, my tabanka related to carnival extends only to the Monday and Tuesday off, the stay home and relax and so on. But that is a different situation as well. But Ms. Wills-Caton, I mean, what needs, you say the future looks bright, you say you're positive about it, you have to be, because you're the general manager of Film TT, because if you want to say otherwise, you have to find an next work tomorrow morning, in that sense. But as far as moving it forward and dealing with these constant challenges, as Ms. O'Connor mentioned, I mean, what I just said didn't require genius, because we all know it. We all know these challenges. We all know the small-mindedness and the little petty jealousies that sometimes get in the way of us doing things properly. So Ms. Wills-Caton, from your perspective, from where you are positioned, what needs to be done to take the industry forward?
Well, we need to collaborate, to be honest. Like Lorraine said, we have productions on the ground and each person don't know what the other one is doing. The collaboration is key. Also getting the support from the TV stations, the streaming platforms to show that you can invest in local content. You can support us, give us the opportunity to showcase on the platform. We have really incredible filmmakers. So yes, we can look at the outside coming in, but we have to support ourselves. We have to see who we are on TV. And that's one of the main ways we can actually reach forward. So I'm always appealing to the private sector to invest in our local filmmakers. We have amazing content. We have stories to tell. And demand to see it, demand from our streaming platforms, from our networks. We want to see local content. That's one of the main ways Fazeri can go forward.
But of course, the mainstream media will say, we don't get our demand. Nobody's beating down the door to say that they want to see more local content. They're happy with all the foreign recycled stuff and so on. So they are responding to their markets, and they will argue, it's all well and good to tell us to support local content, support local things, but if the advertiser's not backing it and we go out of business, nobody from Film TT is going to come forward to prop up my failing media institution.
Correct, and you're absolutely right. And it really has to start somewhere. And this is where we talk to the private sector about product placement, downstream revenue, merchandising, and really appealing, finding the right content that will appeal to your target market. I always use the example of Castaway with Tom Hanks. Castaway was advertising marketing for FedEx. The entire film was about FedEx, and years later, FedEx is still getting marketing due to Castaway. We need to start letting the industry see the benefit of advertising in film and really making it something worthwhile.
Well, I actually thought it was about Wilson, the volleyball. That's what I thought it was all about. And that maybe, who knows, Wilson got
also additional marketing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about product placement. But, Mr. Connor, in that sense, is it that now, while you are enduring your tabanka for Carnival 2021, is it that even if you have the indifference of mainstream media or the indifference of corporate Trinidad and Tobago, is it the fact that we now live in the world of the internet, that there's social media, that there are other platforms where you don't necessarily need the blessings of the mainstream media environment to actually get that content out there?
Well, exactly, and that is why so many people are doing what you would call, I like to call it like guerrilla productions. Like, they're just doing productions on their own, on the fly. And I want to appeal right now, if you are doing productions, let them TT know. We want to know about you. We want to assist you. We have support. We don't have money, but we have time. We have resources. We have people who are willing to give you advice and support you and give you contacts and so on. So yes, even if mainstream media doesn't want to show your work, the internet is incredible. Like, people are driving. I was speaking with a fashion designer yesterday because I'm working right now on a production for the Port of Spain Fashion Week. And she told me basically that she's never done one ad in her life. All she does is on social media. Everything, not even boosted on social media. She just pushes her content on social media and she gets the feedback. So working the internet is a science, I agree, but it can really pay back. So my first advice would be sign up for a little social media online course and understand how social media works. I realize there's so many things that, like I'm learning myself. My children teach me every day. Like I said, I'm the 101. Afterwards, they could do the book for dummies and using me as the example.
And we certainly wouldn't categorize you in that way at all, because you might disconnect your connection or you end the discussion right away. But Ms. O'Connor, you mentioned that the money isn't there, but at the end of the day, doesn't it still come? And I'll get Ms. Will's Caton perspective on it as well. But at the end of the day, doesn't it still come down to an element of financing to be able to get the quality production, to get the word out there, to market what you've done? Because at the end of the day, you could have the greatest short film in the history of mankind, but if there isn't the work to get it out there, no one will ever see it.
Well, I agree. And I mean, the reason that creatives make work is for it to be seen. I mean, very few of us just want to keep it on the shelf and nobody see it. So, but now we have the platforms to expose it. And I can tell you, if you put something of good quality on the internet, people will see it and it will start to go viral. So yes, financing. If you ask any filmmaker what is your main challenge, they will all say financing, obviously. But we can do, and what I'm trying to say here is things are being done with very little resources and good work. So I really think we want to encourage the filmmakers. It's definitely not doom and gloom. And one important thing, because I've recently gone online with all our, filing of income tax and all that is online. Remember, there's 150% tax credit. It's huge on your investment in film and video and, fashion and these areas in creative arts. That's a lot of money that you can reduce from the taxes that you have to pay. So really look into these things, and appealing to the corporate sector. Once again, look at film as a viable investment.
And Ms. Wills Caton, in relation to that whole financing issue, is that concession, is that allowance like that, 150% off on your tax bill? I mean, we all want to get away from paying tax if we could. Do you see that as something where the private sector will really take up that opportunity? Is that the incentive that you would have been waiting for?
Yes, the 150 tax rebate incentive has been on the books for a while. What we need to encourage the private sector is to really look into it. Once you support local content, you will get back 150%. So I think there's an awareness and education that needs to happen in terms of explaining and really working hand in hand with the private sector to understand there is money you can get back once you support local content. And that's where we need to start pushing the conversation.
And just on that point, are you satisfied that there is that demand from the general public for local content, local film production, local works of different types, not just Carnival, because Trinidad and Tobago is not just about Carnival. There's a lot more about it. But are you satisfied that there is really that inherent desire now to see more of ourselves and our own productions?
There absolutely is. What I think we need to focus on as filmmakers is the genre that the audience is looking for. So we know if we tell a comedy story, they would all laugh and they would all love it. We were talking to Disney the other day and they were looking at comedy from the Caribbean. In fact, a lot of the distribution companies that we spoke to, they want to see more comedy. And we know Trinidad and Tobagonians, we love comedy. Even the Alphabet series that the guy did, we love to laugh. So if we start to focus our content on comedy type genre, we should be able to get the engagement. We will have the audience appeal, and the private sector would invest.
Okay, well, let's leave the final word with Lorraine O'Connor. As far as the way forward, you sound very positive, like Ms. Wills Caton as well. But if you were to leave one word with our audience, whoever you'd like to target, what would be that message you'd like to leave with our audience this morning in relation to taking the film industry forward in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I want to just appeal to everybody to continue to do the work. Don't feel like this is the doom and gloom. Do the work, contact Film TT. We are there as your representative. So I really want that engagement because we want to know what's going on the ground. So much is happening. So I want to appeal to Lesley Ann has just joined Film TT as general manager a few months now on her mission, and I want to support her 100%. Trinidad and Tobago, Film Nation. We want to be a film nation. That's my final.
All right. Well, I'll send you a bottle of lime called a sappy head with this carnival tabanca that you seem to be suffering with at the moment, Ms. O'Connor and Ms. Wills Caton as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. You can go on the website www.filmtt.co.tt for more information and indeed all the contact information as well. As far as maybe fulfilling your desire, your dreams, getting that project off the ground, something that you've always wanted to do, some idea that, the bottom line is, if it's good enough, you don't need to hide it. It's only if it's mediocre you have to hide it because you're frightened that people thief your ideas and so on. If it's of good quality, if it's unique to you, if it's brilliant, nothing to worry about. But if it's stupidness, well, you have every reason to hide it. You should probably never bring it out. But let's head to the break. Here's an image